Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Day Trade with Zay. I'm Isaac, and today it is Tuesday, June 21st. Yesterday was a bit of a wash. I made like $7 or whatever it is. But that was just because uh, we had no volatility, we had no volume. It was a federal bank holiday for the US dollar, Juneteenth. So I had no idea it was the second year in its existence that they actually used Juneteenth as a federal bank holiday. So, lesson learned on that front. But yeah, let's just keep it simple and bring it back to you. So I'm going to move this one out the way. We'll bring this out. So these are all my levels that I've been using basically since last week. And just to give you some insights. So last week, we were able to catch this trade here, right? On Friday, we were able to catch this trade here to the downside before price reversed. And then you can see it here. It broke this low, created a lower low. But after that, came back on top, and then it broke this high. So now we had a break of structure to the upside. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And even though it wasn't a higher high, it still didn't break this low, right? Price didn't break this low. So it continued up, and we're on the 15-minute chart right here. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And it did all that. And yesterday I was thinking, okay, possibly we had a break of structure. This low broke that low, but we were able to catch some pips and it came down quick, but eventually price just went up. And with the volume, there wasn't a lot of movement, right? These are all 15 minutes. So you can see price is only moving, what, 7 pips in 15 minutes, which isn't a lot of movement. So I just stayed away because I did know that volatility was low. And, I don't want to put any buys and then it sell off and put in any sells and then it keep going up. So I just stayed away. When the market's slow, when the market's dead, this strategy won't work. So that's something to always take into account. And yeah, so let's just keep it simple right here. There's a higher high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Well, we'll just call it like this: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. Now this one's tricky for me right here. I ain't gonna lie. Like it's a little off for me because I don't think, even though price is kind of lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? This low didn't break this low. And it seems to be moving up with the trend. So if we go to the 30-minute chart right here, yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. So you could see that price has basically been respecting the 20 EMA, this blue line, the entire way up. When it did break through to the downside, it would respect the 50 EMA. And it's been doing that. Respect shown here, respect shown here, respect shown here, and now respect shown again right here. Now, even though it's kind of using this as resistance now, like me personally, I'm gonna trust that price is gonna come down from here. Let's see if it's tapped this yet. It hasn't tapped that level yet. And these are obviously all levels that I've been using for a minute. Um, Me personally, sorry for the screen. I know it's crazy. I gotta clean my shit up. But me personally, I think it's a sell-off. I think it's gonna come down. Um, you can see this level right here. This is what I would go off of. So you have this 50% ILC that's already been respected, right? You can see it's been respected a few times. And this ILC is an instant. So everything I do, Julian, when you see it, it's all based on what these candles do. So each one of these rectangles is a candle. And they each represent a block of time. So right now we're on the 15 minutes. So each candle represents 15 minutes. Then we go to the 30 minutes. Each candle represents 30 minutes of time and what price was doing. So here is where price opened at the bottom of this green one. Here's where it closed. Here's where it opened. Here's where it closed. Here where it opened. Here's where it closed. So 6:30, we're about 8 minutes away from that. 6:30, well, 9:30 your time is New York Open. So that's when we see the most volatility. That's where I take basically all my trades is at 6:30 open. But just to keep it simple, it's all about, higher highs and higher lows. That's going to tell you market structure, which way to carry. Now, it's a little tough for me, but I think that we had a break of structure to the downside, truthfully. I might be wrong, and I'm wrong sometimes, and you could just go ahead and see that today. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I like this sell-off area right here. So everything I do is based off of what these candles are showing me, right? So, and I'm a retrace trader. So I wait for retracements to happen. So we're going to go ahead and fill up this box. And this right here is called the Fibonacci. I'll show you how to do this after. But I go from the most recent high to the most recent low because I think it's going to sell off. Now that I look at it, I like this area to sell off from, but this low didn't break this low. And the way I see it right now is this red line is called a estimated moving average. And I've learned just from doing this shit this shit might sound like crazy Chinese to you, but what I've learned is price tends to carry this. It shows you, the trend. Is it an uptrend or a downtrend? So one thing that happened here was price, this big black candle, broke below the 50 EMA, right? Broke below and used this red box as a support area. Jumped in and then came out. But also what happened was price broke above. So this is going to be very important. If this little black candle right here finishes up, then I think there's a good chance price could continue up. But if it finishes below here, right, and then price goes up at open, now I'll like this trade a little bit more. So we'll see what happens exactly. This is golden zone. So I just go strictly off of what price is telling me. Look like that, yellow. So this is my golden zone. When you see price come back up into this area after it broke structure, it's a bigger chance that price is going to come down after. So let me just draw out these two areas because I can see that they've been rejected and respected. So this is like a 50% ILC, and you can see 50%, 61.8%, 70%, 78.6%, and then this would be considered 100%. So everything I do is kind of systematic. When you see these green boxes, that means it's a 50% ILC. When you see these golden boxes, that means it's like in between the 61 and 70%. And the ILC is just an institutional order candle, which is basically these candles that I'm just don't take too much heatings into it. It's not a lot of work. It's just what these candles are called. So the way this is finishing, it kind of looks like it's going to push up. So this is a little tough of a situation for me because price did this, because this arrow didn't go lower than this one. It's kind of tough. What I'm going based off of is the lower low, the lower high, the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And you can see it when you go back or when you go down to the 5-minute candle, it's a little bit easier for you to see, right? So you have a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low on the bigger candles. But when you go to the 5-minute, you have a higher high, a higher low, a lower low because this low, or a lower high because this high is lower than this high. This low is a lower low because it's lower than this low. This high is a lower high because it's lower than that high. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, lower high. So I know it sounds fucking confusing because it's even confusing to me. It's not clear right now. And what I'm going based off of is just pure price action. So I want to see price finish below. And I actually like it. Like I might lose some money today just because it's not so clear, but I like the risk because we got basically right here one confirmation, two confirmations, two confirmations, three confirmations. This golden area to take the trade. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I'm counting the confirmations, I'm counting how many times this green candle shows up inside of this box, basically. So every time I every time I break it down. And one thing I do like is this the 5 minute. We're on the 5 minute chart right here. This 5 minute chart is what do you call it? The EMA, this red line, has been respected. So you can see every time price comes up, it falls. It respects it. It rejects it. Every time price comes up, respects it and rejects it, right? So that being said, that's another confirmation. And then we've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections right here. So we're about a minute before open, and it looks pretty decent. The only thing is that price is also respecting on the 15 minute. Now it's gonna sound like Chinese to you. Don't even worry about it. This is just my process and how I think before I hop onto a trade. So we're about a minute and a half from open. It's tricky for me. So I'm gonna risk it today. And this is what my risk will look like. I think I'll probably wait till that level. I'm real sporadic with it, but we'd have probably about a 44 pip stop loss. So that 0.01 that we were talking about, right now you would be risking $44. For me, if I'm risking, let's say a 0.05, I'd be risking about $220. And it just goes up, right? So if you have a 0.05, $220. If you have a 0.1, that's $10 a pip, you'd be risking $440. Now the goal in trading is to always, don't worry about how much you'll make. You never want to worry about that. You want to worry about how much you're gonna lose. That's the most important step, because all you can control is how much you lose. Obviously, you can control the wins, but you don't know where price is going. You know, everything's just a guess, um, a calculated guess. And see, this it's kind of hard for me to say. I would have rather it to finish down here. With it finishing up here, I kind of think it's gonna go up. So we'll see right now. If we get a push up and then a retest down here on this line right here, I'll probably take the trade up. And that's how sporadic I am. Like that's how I think. So we'll see right now. 6:30 just open. Let's see if it rejects right here or if it takes it. It's rejecting it a little bit. No, you see how it's pushing up. Now it could still reject it, right? See how it comes down? That's a rejection. Still looks strong. Let's go down to the 1 minute. So now every candle, see, look at that push up. That looks like a lot of strength to the upside. A lot of strength. Now it's starting to come down a little bit, but this is all within a 1 minute span. It's pushing up like this. Now I'd be looking to, oh, see, I'd be looking to sell from this area, and it looks good. I just put in a sell, but if it uses this as support, it can push up. So we got to be careful. So I put in a sell, and it could still push up on us. We're up a little bit of dollars right now, but it could still push up. And you see that rejection right there? That's troubling for me because it could still push up. So me, I don't really like it. It's rejecting that. Now this next candle is going to be key because if it finishes right here, then it looks like price is going to go up. And I'm going to just take my loss, if that's the case. I'm not going to wait for it. But if it continues down, then that looks a little bit cleaner. We'll see how the next candle finishes though. Yep, you see that? Completely filled everything right here. So that was where I went wrong. I should have just put in my, I'm going to close a position, take a little bit of a loss because it looks like price is going to go up. But we'll see right now. Well, I like it. All right, I put some more sells in right now because of this big drop that happened. Now, if price bounces off of this again, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Let's see. So the reason I'm taking sells right now is because of this big candle and this huge rejection wick. That showed me, okay, price is respecting this zone. But you can see this one's pushing up again. So we'll see. I could be completely wrong. And I just take my losses. I could be completely wrong. Yeah, it looks like it wants to push up. And a important factor to know is this 5 minute candle. Look how strong it looks. It's a big, strong green candle, right? When you have big, strong green candles, it tends to continue up. Big, green, strong candle, it tends to continue up. And that's going to continue up. So me, I'm going to just take my loss because I think it's going to push up now. It came back and used this level as respect, as support, and pushed up from here. So I'm going to take my loss. It is what it is. And you just close with the loss. There's no need in holding on to a trade. No need for none of that shit. You just take your loss and call it for what it is. Now, I do like some buys on this area, though. So if we see a little bit of a retracement, what got me was this huge bearish candle and this huge wick. That's why I thought it was going to continue down. Instead, it faked me out, used this as support, and pushed up. So I should have bought here. If I would have bought here, I'd have been in profit. But I didn't. So I'm down 245 on the day, and we'll see what happens. And that's kind of where I was saying this low didn't break that low. So it wasn't a continuation. Yeah, this shit might not even come back and retrace. And see now I know, like when I do my trade journal today, I'm gonna know, okay, I fucked up because this low didn't break this low. So it was never a full break of structure. Even though I thought it wasn't. And once price, everything that happened, it did, right? I said price had to finish below here. It didn't. So that's one of my issues is just listen to yourself. Price didn't finish below this low. So it wasn't a confirmation there or below this EMA. Once it did that, I should have been looking for a buy to push up to the upside. This low didn't break this. This candle didn't finish under here. And now look at what we got, a huge trade to the upside. If I would have put in a buy here with the same thing that I risked, 449 to 531, I'd be up about 450 right now. $450 right now. If I'd taken that buy. But instead, I lost money, took a loss, took another loss, and that's how it goes. So it can be that simple where you lose 245 in 6 minutes. And that's why you got to be careful with this shit. Now, me, I don't think it's going to come back down. So now it's like where I'm like, fuck it. I might as well just stay away because I could put in another trade. I could put in a buy right here, but I don't like putting in buys where I see sell off areas. So this is a sell-off area for me. And you can see price is kind of retracing a little bit. But look at that push. Used it did exactly what I said it would do. Come back down, use this as support, and then push up. I should have noticed that, and that's my fault. But you can see it's still going up, and we might have some news up here today that's better than normal. Let's see. Existing home prices. Yeah, no news today. It was just, prices just retracing right now. It's moving up. So me, I'm probably just gonna stay away and take my $245 loss. Um, you got to kind of know, like, okay, I didn't really know what was happening. I was a little confused with the market. At that point, I shouldn't trade. If I don't know, then I shouldn't trade. Because I had all these confirmations to take this trade, right? Oh, 5 confirmations here, 6 confirmations here. But the most important confirmation that wasn't there was this low breaking this low. That didn't happen. So once that didn't happen, all bets are off on these sells. I should have been looking for a buy. Price use this as support, use this as support. I should have been looking for a buy. And now I understand that. Now I'm going to take that in and say, and I know because I've been saying to myself for a long time, if it doesn't break structure on the 15-minute chart, then it didn't break structure at all. So I got to be mindful of that. And that's all that is. I took a loss and we just take it at that. How many pips did I lose? I lost, I'm trying to do the math real quick. 100, 38 pips, $190 loss, and then my other ones were 24 and $30, so 245. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? At this point, it is what it is. Let's see some. Yeah, so 245. You just take it on the chin, and that's all you could really do at the end of the day. So 30, 38. I caught it a little lower. And that's one thing with me is like, just know how much you're risking. That's the biggest point. Know how much you're risking. If you're risking too much, then you're probably going to lose a lot. And you just got to be mindful of that shit. I think it was down here, actually. Look at that shit's flying. I'd be up 500 bucks if I kept this trading. And that's all I got to be mindful of is that right there. So I'm going to call you right now, Julian. Um, I'm going to end it for the day. I don't want to overtrade. I don't want to overstep my boundaries, try to make money back. We don't need to do none of that shit. It could come down from here, but you don't want to risk it. Never go against the trend. So that was the biggest thing that I did today. That's my biggest rule is don't go against the trend, and I went against the trend. We're on an uptrend. This low didn't break this low. I should have known better. So appreciate you for hopping on. We'll be on again tomorrow, and I'm gonna call you right now. Thank you guys.